What's the, can you talk to me about how you thought the Pallet project was going to go before we did it?
I mean, I had a lot of nervousness about it because you hear all of these things about, these kids are going to be coming into it and not have any experience with tools, and then you see them just figure it out naturally.
I was hopeful, and I was thinking that it was actually going to be successful because I've seen kids succeed before. But what was surprising was how much they met my expectations, which was they really did do what I was hoping they would do, and the optimist in me was satisfied.
What did you see as far as the learning that was going on? Both kind of soft skills and content skills. Like, what jumped out at you? Like, what are kids learning in here?
I mean, they're learning actual skills that can get them a job, like right now. They can walk out of here, walk into most places and use this set of skills. But I also got to do content that I hadn't planned on delivering until later in the year, and they just got it. Like, I was explaining democracy to them, like, everyone in your group gets a vote because it's not anarchy and it's not a dictatorship, and they ran with it.
Good.
What was most fulfilling to see as an educator was that the students learned all of these performance skills. It was almost like a sponge, and this Pallet project was water, and they just soaked up a ton of performance skills immediately. They learned how to teamwork. They learned how to resolve conflict, at least reasonably well. Communicate. They learned how to use their hands to explore something and how to use their brains to explore the idea of designing or manipulating something in your mind and then taking that into a practical realm. Okay, now I have to actually do it. So a lot of students in the urban environment, they love to talk, they love to speak, they love to share their ideas, but so often they don't get the opportunity to actually then carry that through or make good on that talk. So I think making the steps, working with the pallets, gives them the opportunity to say, oh, I'm a tough guy. Well, let me actually take this thing apart. Or I'm a leader. I own this place. Well, let me actually lead this team. Or I've got great ideas. Well, now the rubber hits the road and it has to actually happen. Let me actually make something that I'm talking about. So I think that there's all these great standards. There's kinetic energy, there's potential energy, there's heat energy transfer. That's one of the things I experienced today. There's all sorts of great stuff about the type of wood and the diversity of species, but what was really interesting to me was just sort of the dynamic of overall learning, how to learn skills that students can use in all subjects.
Well, learning how to learn. I saw that Tyrell came up to me and he was like, can you change this drill bit for me into a screwdriver? Or wait, can you teach me how to do it? And I was like, yeah.
Asking for a student to teach you. That's the holy grail of teaching.
No, I mean, he asked me that.
Yeah.
And I was like,
asking for somebody to help you, teach you.
Because it wasn't like, help me out with this or do this for me. It was, teach me.
Mm-hmm. Talk to me about how you felt. I want to hear, what are some things that, we kind of jumped into this first project very much like all the way. And we didn't have a lot of setup, and we as a team had never done this before. What did you notice about your peers, your teaching peers, right? There was a lot of high fives between us. Like, can you talk about some of what we saw in each other?
Well, I think what we're experiencing is something that not a lot of teachers get. It's almost like the instant gratification of, this is why I come to school, wrapped up in this one moment. So getting to experience that with fellow educators who understood the gravity and the excitement was awesome.
Doing something like this with your students pays off. It's an investment in all sorts of things. Besides the explicit, great, awesome benefits, what did I learn about Megan? Megan really has this passion for just jumping in and trying these new things and getting dirty and not worrying about what may have, just trying things. And so as a teammate, I now know so much about her, about how I can depend on her to maybe take on a challenge that I need her to help me out with, or if I need her to maybe watch my class or this or that. Oh, it's outside of my subject zone or whatever she needs to cover. But I'm confident that she will jump in and handle it. It's just so much. Actions are louder than words, and I saw Megan using the jigsaw and the circular saw, and she has
And the drill.
in the drill. You've never used those things before. With very little experience, she looked like a pro, and some of the other teammates that have been in here, just seeing the dynamic of who wants to take on a leadership role and who wants to be more of an observer. It lets you know what role they naturally fall into, and as a teammate, it lets you know how you can maybe challenge them to take on other roles or grow as a person. And that creates an overall dynamic within a school, within a grade level team, that pays off in the classroom when you're doing regular standard instruction. It pays off when you're doing PDs and you're trying to work through conflict as a team, if you better understand one another. And it pays off because the students can feel that vibe. They can feel that energy, that there's more harmony happening amongst their adult counterparts.
You having fun?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was excited to come to work this morning.
Good.